where these cows are standing right now, it's all mud. It gets pretty good from here out, but this is mud. I'm gonna spread hay here, a little on the culvert, and then right over here. So this is kind of like putting like 6 gallons of crap in a 5-gallon bucket. Just a little bit of extra stuff. Hey, welcome back to Ohrmundt Simmentals. All right, Monday afternoon. So this morning, we got like 7/8 of an inch of rain in like an hour. That was around, what, 9:30, something like that. Yeah, the sun is kind of out. It is humid as all get up. And we're supposed to get more rain tonight. We're supposed to be scheduling to move the cows today. But with all the rain that we've gotten in the last 2 weeks, we've probably gotten 4 inches of rain in the last 2 weeks. Give or take. I'm not exactly sure, but it's pretty darn close. I know just in the last 4 days, we've gotten 2 inches of rain. If you guys remember from last year, we had issues with a lot of excessive rain and tearing up pastures and stuff like that. So the last chunk, the chunk they're on right now, was a little bit bigger chunk than I normally would give them. It turned out to be a good 2-day chunk. But to try to do something different this year to deal with it, at least for today, what we're going to do is we're actually, there's a bale back here that Dad's dealing with right now that they never finished eating. One, we're going to clean that bale out. Dad's going to spread it out and bed it. We're going to put a couple bales in each one, and then I think we're going to put another one out here as kind of a eat bedding type of thing. And hopefully we can lure the cows back up here, and we're actually going to lock them in the yard. So this is already a sacrifice area. Is it a little muddy? Yes. But we're going to give them plenty to eat and some good stuff to lay on. And since we're supposed to get more rain tonight, we're going to give a day and cross our fingers we don't get quite as much rain tonight into tomorrow. And hopefully tomorrow we kind of get a little break, because they're talking Wednesday, Thursday, more rain. It's the lesser of two evils, I guess is what you could say, because it's either this bad option or that bad option. Either one I don't necessarily care for, but we're going to try this because this is different. We haven't ever really said, hey, it's raining so much, we're just going to lock them up in here and try it. Just do it. And hopefully tomorrow is a little bit drier. Let the water soak in, drain away, all that fun stuff. So, all right, we got them locked in. They're not happy, but that's just because they knew they were on grass. And they want to be on grass, of course. So hopefully it's only for one night, and hopefully they behave themselves. All right, so we're going to head to the shop. Cows are fed. For the most part, they're all eating. There's a couple that are voicing their opinion of the new situation, but update, and got to use the cut 50 again, which was really nice. Our Captain cut 50. So what we ended up doing was making this slot in this plate a little bit bigger, and kind of shoehorning a couple of grommets in there. And I think what we're gonna do is get some like nice black RTV and then kind of fill in the gaps, because Dad wanted to mount the chopper monitor right there, and this is a lot shorter cable. Unfortunately, this is what comes through that hole, plus the power. So those two will have to get taken back, and then this one is the one for the baler. There's even So there's fuses. This is a diagnostic plug. And then this is where the baler actually hooks up to. And then all of this fishes back over to the battery. And then I'm assuming this is just like a shut-off switch to cut the power to the whole system. This has got fuses on it. Can disconnect all of that if you really want to. All right, just had an albino deer run through the field. It was kind of cool. I've seen, I mean, people have had them around here in Wisconsin. And if I remember, I'll throw a picture in here. I was just coming on alongside of our field. But yeah, we're gonna try and get some like black RTV silicone stuff. Just kind of fill this in, and then we'll have to figure out how this is all gonna work back in here. There's gonna be a lot of junk up in here. Hey, how's it going? It is Tuesday afternoon. 35 heifer is in heat, so tech is going to be here about 6 o'clock. And then in a minute, I'm going to head back down to the farm, and we're going to move those cows and do what I talked about yesterday. They did really well. They behaved themselves in the yard. But as you see, I'm standing in front of the 44 because I want to show you the progress we made as we spent the last hour and a half working on this. So what we did is we ran the power for the baler. This is really just hook it up to the starter with a nice ground here. It says to hook it directly to the battery. This is about as close to the battery as you can get without actually putting it right under here. So we're hoping that works. If it doesn't, anybody else that's around a 450 New Holland round baler, if you don't think that's going to work, leave it in the comments. Then we ran that all the way through, so this is the other end of it. It's coming down here underneath the 3-point arms and right here. This is what we spent probably 45 minutes trying to figure out where we wanted to put it. Originally we wanted to flip this over and put it right under here, and we actually have a hole. We were looking at it, and the bolts to mount this whole remote on looked really close, and they were like within an 1/8 inch. So we drilled these out to the size they needed to be, and then this side we actually slotted out, and it is solid and it's in a nice spot. Now we just have to worry about taking all of this, coiling it up, and getting it kind of stuffed up in here or off to the side. All right, I actually thought they'd be a little bit more excited and go down this alley a little bit more, but they just came around the corner and stopped. They got a little dirty last night, but it's not bad. They behaved themselves. That was the most important part. Come on, girls. All right, so we made it out here, and just like I had talked about yesterday, my plan is where these cows are standing right now, it's all mud. It gets pretty good from here out, but this is mud. I'm gonna spread hay here, a little on the culvert, and then right over here, but mostly here. I want dry matter. I might even put some like right in here. But what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go my corner point, we're gonna head out this way, we're gonna come back this way, and then actually I'm gonna back this up, and then we're gonna head over here and bend it back that way. Then I'm gonna take that line down. They can still go over there. They're not gonna want to all the time. Most of the time they're gonna be over here, but if they want to, they can go over there. Gives them a little bit more room to spread out. So let's get this taken care of before they rub and break something on the tractor. Just like that, 2 more. There's one here, and then this big guy. It's pretty neat. At least I think so. All right, that didn't go too bad. Now I want to take this down, and as you can see, I know where I'm going to put the hay, where the mud is. So let's get this down. I had a couple of idiots, but that's all right. All right, So again, the whole reason to take the back line down, or what would have been the back line, let them have access over here. They're going to spend 90% of the time in here. Tomorrow, maybe a little tonight, they'll wander over here, scope things out. But even if that just spreads them out a little bit, if the ground is still saturated, because I could feel it, there is very light standing water out there. It just hasn't soaked all in yet. Then it'll just spread them out, hopefully damage stuff less before we can move them in 2 days. Plenty of grass for 2 days, just giving them more space to roam. All right, now let's head out and put the bale out. Now I was just about to do the bale, and I saw our tech coming down the road, so had to run back and help Dad put the cow in, and well, heifer. Of course, it's a heifer, KM35, but obviously we knew that, we planned that. She came into heat exactly when she was supposed to, so you know, hopefully everything goes really well and we still get a kingpin calf. That's what we're hoping for. I guess we'll see what that turns out like. I guess can't hurt anything. So, oh well, we'll see. Alrighty, it is Wednesday afternoon. Dad's grabbing a bale for these calves. No sign of any kind of heat or anything out of 35. That went really well yesterday, despite all the slop from the rain. So tomorrow, good chance the cows will be up here, and if they're not, I'm gonna call them up here, and then we're gonna let these two heifers out. They get one more rotation where they'll come back to the blue water, and then they're going on to the yellow water. All right, let's get you a little update on where we're at. So this is kind of like putting like 6 gallons of crap in a 5-gallon bucket, just a little bit of extra stuff. So basically, we mounted this yesterday. We took all that mass of humanity, and it's right here. If we figure something else out that we like a little better or something, whatever, we'll figure that out later. There is an on-off switch right here for power, so power is connected, and then that stuff all runs back up in here. I did get some black-art TV for this so we can fill up any of our cracks. So we're making some progress. Again, between yesterday and today's first 2 days, it hasn't rained in like a week. All right, it is Thursday afternoon, so happy Friday Eve. I'm gonna be excited when it is finally Friday and I'm heading home. First thing that we're going to do today is we're going to sort out those two heifers. We'd prefer to at least get the cows close or fairly close, so that way it's the heifers see them right away and they don't just go running wherever the heck they want to. Might be pretty easy. Yep. Guys out right here, huh? There we go. Yeah, that went pretty well. Not too shabby. And the cows came up close enough and all that good stuff. Of course, Factor's chasing after the heifer, but I don't think he'll actually breed her, but well, That's what DNA testing is for, if I like the calf. Well, I think now that we're down to just steers, which, what do we got here? 8? We got 8 steers. I think now we can call them the fats, because there ain't any breeding stock in here anymore. Now we're just to the fat group. All right, so what we're looking at, and it does look like they went at their chunk pretty well, and that's okay, that's fine. But we've been pivoting around this culvert crossing, using this as the narrow spot. But now this is the last move before they're gonna go over to the yellow water. So now actually the far end of that field is actually gonna become the pivot point, and we're gonna swing out that way, not going down that way and coming back this way like we were before. Now we're going out that way. So thankfully it's dried out a little bit the last 2 days. I can still see some of that hay over there. I know yesterday they hung out, they laid right there, and Photo's voicing her opinion. All right, so this actually is this is a pretty generous chunk of grass, because from me to the cows, I'm gonna say that's about, it's not 50 yards. I'd say it's anywhere from 60 to 70 yards. Okay. And then I'm across from that other handle. And this is one reason why I do the handles the way I do. And I'll show you when I get to the other end, because I hook them on the top of the 4 line. And that way I can see them when I get over to where I'm at. But there's plenty of material here. And then this is actually right here remnants of last year. I'm sure I probably bale grazed, probably threw a little seed in there. But what's kind of cool is there's some Timothy, and you can see it's very dark and it's very isolated just in this little area. So I'm pretty confident this is fresh. Plus you have a lot of really fresh clover in this area too. And then again, I'm guessing this is some ryegrass. So yeah, I'm kind of liking that. All right, so this is what I do when I terminate on the end, is I take and I wrap the line around here, so we get live here, and then I just run the handle and I hook it up here. Now sometimes you do get that, so what I'll do is if it gets slippery like that, or I don't have enough tension on it, I'll put this wrap, or I'll wrap this and then bring it around here so it hooks on an insulator like for this one. Or I'll do what I did here, I'll wrap it on this side and then I'll hook it on this side of the insulator. So yeah, it can slide, but it can only slide that far. But what that does, it gets me my height I want, and then it brings this up here. We're just actually gonna do that, just crisscross them. So from across the field, from way down there where I just was, I can look across, especially with these red ones. I don't all have red ones, a lot of them are these yellow ones, but I can still kind of catch them. It's a lot easier to see them, gives me a nice landmark, because these green white top posts, they blend in once in a while. And I always go to a post. All I gotta do now, run this line out, and I'm actually liking the diversity in this chunk, so let's walk a bit. Now what's actually kind of cool is this top area that I'm on right now. Yeah, we got a little bit of this weed. Cows will beat that up. But this actually came back fairly well. We've got some a little bit more bare spots. Like right here. But you know, the bluegrass is coming, the clover is coming, and like right here, we've got some reed canary. Here's a couple blotches of Timothy. Just getting a lot of different stuff out here. So definitely looking like things weren't totally destroyed. Are they as maybe good as they were at the beginning of last year? Maybe not, but it's definitely better than I thought it was going to be. All right, this is kind of what I was hoping for, is they would just get out here and kind of do their thing. I think we had one limper out here, and here's Barb. I've always said, give Barb a little extra chance, she'll start coming around, and I think long term she'll be fine. Goggle Gerg's calf had a little bit of a limp. Now, roughhousing or potential hoof rot, I think it's this guy right here. You know, keep an eye on him. That's what we do. We'll keep an eye on him. He's got just a little bit of a limp. Again, the cool thing is we got the new dart. We can do what we need to do to help these guys out, even out in pasture. Because for us, it'd be virtually impossible to get him back into the barn to do anything. So I am very glad to have gotten the new dart, able to treat stuff right out in pasture where it's less stress. You can get them what they need that day if you need to. All the good stuffs. Oh, this is a chunk of paper. Oh, I guess we're gonna pull this out of the pasture. That doesn't need to be there, right, girls? Right? Thanks for finding this. She's like, you're welcome. All right, I got a couple things I want to take, a couple pictures. Actually, I got to do a little bit of a short, and then I got to get moving because I got some other things I got to do tonight. But I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Hey, how's it going? Happy Friday. All right, we are starting out at the shop. I'm still gonna have to feed grain for the steers when I get back, but that's not a big deal. We are gonna start with starting to take the duals off. We did hay last year with the duals on. It wasn't bad, but we think we bumped the baler a couple times with it. Nothing major, but just for ease of operation and the fact that our baler is pretty darn new, we don't want to wreck it with the duals, so we're gonna take them off. All right, so we got one tire done. Definitely forgot all the steps to taking off those hubs, but we know what we're doing now. So we went from having 9.5 inches of stick out here to having 2.5 inches. Definitely widen those tires out, and then we'll do the same to the other side tomorrow morning. All right, so we just fed ground feed. It took us quite a while to figure out all the steps needed for taking those hubs off. I mean, it's been over a year since we did that. But here are the boys. I got to mix up some fresh fly spray, and then I got to set them up with a trace block. That's usually all I give these guys, is just a trace block versus like a full mineral this weekend. And then I got to mix up some fresh fly spray. So for these guys, I will use a spray, mostly because they are in the yard and a little bit more moisture will collect in here and they're not rotating anywhere and stuff like that. So to help them out, help them stay comfortable, we'll use a little bit of spray. It is the end of the day. It is Friday, so we're gonna call this the end of the video. Hope you guys had a great week. Hope you have a great weekend coming up around here. Wausau area, it's going to be like in the mid 90s this week. It's going to be toasty, especially for June. Hope you guys all stayed cool. during the hot weather. So I hope you liked the video. Please hit that like button, help support the channel. If you got any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you'd like to share our content with anybody, please, by all means, share our content. If you know a friend or whoever, or you just want to help support the channel, hit that share button, share it out to anybody that you know. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. Help us get to our goal of 2,000 subs. We're getting there, slow but steady. And of course, thanks for coming along.